Hello, family members. This is going to be kind of a weird video for many reasons, but I literally just finished watching Shaun's Palestine video, and BB's here. Oh, BB. Anyway, I like when it was uploaded last night. I was awake and I watched most of it before I fell asleep. But I was getting pretty close to the end and I just couldn't stay up anymore and kind of just laid my head down and let Sean's soothing voice, you know, help me get the rest of the way there. Wasn't far. Um, so I have also been thinking that I would make a Palestine video, Gaza video, Israeli wars, whatever you want to call it, a video about the same topic for quite some time. But I'll admit I definitely felt very unequal to the task because there's that thing where a person who doesn't know very much about a topic and a person who knows a lot about a topic can both speak about it very confidently. But if you know a medium amount about a topic, you know just enough to know how much you don't know. And it makes you a little less likely to want to jump in with a confident opinion on something, right? Well, I think I'm on the lower end of that medium, you know. I haven't really scratched the surface when it comes to all of the details that there are to know about that. I, I find the history of warfare and conflict very uncompelling, to say the least. But after watching Shaun's video, I think part of the reason why I couldn't fully collect and articulate my thoughts was because there was an unavoidable conclusion that I knew but didn't want to have to acknowledge, which that's such a Brady thing. Like, really, if I don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist. We do this. It's our fatal flaw as Brady's. um at any rate, Israel should not exist. Israel maybe needs to stop existing. Not Jewish people, obviously, but Israel as a country, as it is now, as an apartheid state, as a British colony, as Shaun outlines in his video, it shouldn't exist. And that's a heavy thing to consider, because what does that mean ultimately? Because there are people who are Israeli Jews who don't want to leave their homes. And the whole point is that there shouldn't be an apartheid, that people shouldn't be treated differently because of their ethnic identity. It's a messy, 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 messy subject. But Israel as a concept was always fundamentally flawed. And the only way for it to continue to exist is constant conflict. And I understood that the only way for it to exist was constant conflict. But I wasn't I wasn't really fully thinking through the fact that that meant that the only way for there not to be conflict would be for there not to be an Israel. Not as it currently exists. Maybe there can be some sort of integrated state where Israelis who are Israeli and Palestinians can have some sort of coexistence. I don't know. I mean, I have inherited a tendency from my mother to want to always figure out how to fix every problem. I spend a lot of time on little thought experiments about what I think we ought to do about X, Y, or Z. We definitely need ranked choice voting, for example. We want to fix our political system. We need, more than two political parties, things like that. And there's no thought experiment that I can do, I think, that is adequately going to address what would have to happen for that to be the ultimate reality. My conclusion before that I was kind of working towards was more based on the difference between the generations, because it seems like the boomers and the greatest generation, the people who are older than me, all have one or have an overwhelming tendency to look at the topic one way, and then people who are younger than me seem to have a different tendency as far as how they look at it. And my feeling on it was like, I can't feel certain about anything. I don't. But I was thinking too broadly, because I was trying to think of a solution in a broader sense. And the fact of the matter remains that I, as an individual United States citizen, what I personally need to do is very clear. Is I have to make it very obvious that all of my political leaders should know that I want them to stop this now. I want the President of the United States to do whatever he must do to get them to stop the genocide. Because that's what American citizens owe the world right now. That's what we need to do. That's what I believe. Is that we need to be putting as much pressure on our politicians as possible to that end, to make it extremely clear that our priority is that. Because I think that's what the world needs right now. I think the best thing for the world would be for every American citizen to make it extremely clear that we want a ceasefire now. And we are going to raise a stink if we do not get it soon. So I think that that's why I wanted to talk about this as soon as I finished watching that video. Because I don't feel the need to wait until I feel like I know what Joe Biden should do, or what Congress should do, or what other world leaders should do before I decide what I need to do. And that's where I was getting myself tripped up. And so once I realized, oh yeah, I don't have to wait to talk. I don't have to wait until I feel very confident to be able to at least say that. And I felt like I needed to say that right away. So please, if you watch this, you know, make this same point to other American citizens that you know. If you don't happen to know any American citizens, just make the point to people in general, you know? There is no justification for starving a child, for starving an adult. I don't care what you think they did or didn't do. Starving is horrible. There is no justification for attacking hospitals, for maiming children, and maiming anyone. It's just not. I think that history is going to judge us very harshly, and I don't think it's possible to avoid that. And I think we deserve it. Because the fact of the matter is, it is done in our name. And when we are judged harshly by history, it will be a comfort to me to know that at least at some point I got there and decided to publicly say what needed to be said and do what I publicly needed to do. And there'll be people who got there way ahead of me, and that'll help comfort them. But it was done in our name. And you can't ignore that reality, even if you'd like to. I'm not trying to chastise you specifically. I'm chastising myself here, by the way. I hope that you came to this conclusion long before me. Oh, anyway. I've said what I need to say, and so I'm gonna give you cute puppy face. This is my baby sister, my parents' little princess. She's not worried about anything in the entire world. I love you, family members. Take care of yourselves. Bye.